Ready to dominate at the plate? Blast Baseball is trusted by more major league and college teams than any other hitting solution. The Blast sensor attaches to the knob of any bat, providing real-time feedback with every swing. Go to blastmotion.com and enter code NOWD1 at checkout to save $25. All right, everybody, it is 9 o'clock. Let's get right into it. We do this show every Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern on X Spaces. I'm Alan Gay, and this is Now D1 Speaks. Hey, we got a really cool show tonight. We have got a committed prospect. In fact, he had a very, very big day today, and I can't wait to get into it. We've got Justin Shaffer with us. Hey, Justin, are you there?
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I am really looking forward to talking with you. I'm so happy that you took a little bit of time, especially time today, to really kind of share with our audience who you are and where you're going to school. And in fact, with that, why don't you kind of let us know who you just signed with?
Today I signed with Piedmont University.
Man, I got to tell you, that's big time stuff. That's
Yes,
so
sir.
exciting, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, all right. So what's your graduation year for high school?
I am a 2024 grad.
Fantastic. GPA?
3.9, give or take. Yeah, something, 3.9.
Yeah, that's not that good. I don't know. It's not 4. That's outstanding. And Piedmont University is a D3 school, right? I mean, they got a fantastic academic.
Yes,
yeah, it's a big time academic reputation as well. And let me ask you something. How'd you get into playing baseball?
Well, it started at a really, really young age. I think it's the same thing that a father-son, every father's son does. They take their kid out to play baseball, and my dad did it, and then we stuck with it, and here I am now.
Absolutely. Did you play any other sports?
No, sir, I did not. I did karate for a little bit, if that counts as another sport, for about 2 years, but it's all just been baseball.
I got you. Well, what positions do you play, and what's really your strengths? And if there's something that you just kind of want to work on, what would it be?
I am primarily a catcher, but also play a lot of middle infield and also outfield. I think one of my greater strengths that I bring to the game is my speed. I run a 6'4" that was just recently this fall, in the beginning of fall. And I think just a bunch of stuff to work on. It's just the game in general. I think you can always work to improve every aspect of your game every single day.
Hey, man, that's pretty exciting. A catcher with speed. That's not something you hear every day. Hey, so did Piedmont, were they recruiting you as a catcher, or do you think they were just recruiting you as a ball player and you're going to show your versatility when you get there?
That's a good question. I didn't really ask straight up. I mean, when I went to their camp, that's when I got my offer to them. I did catch a little bit, and I also played some second. I think it helps that I was able to play more than one position, but I think definitely they have me coming in as a catcher.
Okay, I love that. How about your bat? How would you describe your bat, man? Are you a contact hitter, gap to gap, power? What's your bat like?
Well, I would like to think of myself as a big power guy, but nah, I think I'm more just a gap-to-gap type of guy. Get on base, get to second base, get on base, and then draw a walk, anything, and then I'm able to steal bases and get into scoring position for the team.
Good stuff right there, Justin. What's your height and weight? Give us a little bit of measurement there.
I believe I'm around 5'11", 170, give or take.
Okay, fantastic. Hey, everyone that is joining us this evening, thank you so much for being here. We absolutely appreciate it. Thank you for the support of Now D1 Speaks, and thank you for the support of Justin Shaffer as well. If you did get in late, don't worry about it. We're going to be able to retweet this out in its entirety because we record this space. Hey, Justin, let me ask you now. Mm-hmm. Today was a big day. You signed your NLI. You've got, gosh, you got to be really feeling good coming into your senior season in high school. So I have to ask you, man, how do you keep yourself motivated now to keep improving your skills and really just pushing yourself to get better?
Well, I think a big thing of it is always knowing that there's someone out there that's trying to take my spot. whether it is in high school or I'm still working to take people's spot when I get up to Piedmont next year. I think that is one of my main sources of motivation, just knowing that there's always someone out there better than me and that's always working to get the same things that I want. But I got to work harder and beat them out.
Good, and I like that. So let me ask you about their upcoming senior season. How are you guys looking? What's the expectation?
We have a lot of young players on the team that were freshmen and sophomore last year. A lot of them are returning, so I think a lot of the players on the team are going to have another year of growth, more maturity, more experience, and I think we'll be more mature on the bases with the bats, fielding, and everything. I think we're still going to be young, still learning the game as we go in the varsity level, but I think overall we're going to be a lot solid.
Well, good, man. They're really going to be leaning on you for leadership, I'm sure.
That's what I go out every day. I try to be a leader and I try to do everything right so they can have someone to look up to know how to do this, how to do it. But I also learn a lot from them, teaching them something. And then they ask me a question about a specific like drill or something. And I'm teaching them and I'm also learning a lot from them and the coaches as well.
Absolutely, man. Hey, you've been playing baseball certainly for a long time. I mean, and that's obviously been your main sports, picking it up from your dad from a very, very early age. I got to believe you've just had a lot of memorable moments and achievements on the field. If you could really kind of narrow it down to maybe one thing in particular, what would it be? And man, Justin, what do you think you may have learned from that?
That's a good question. Now that I think, there's a lot of good memories that I've had, but I think one of the most that I'll remember throughout my whole life it was playoffs my freshman year. I was best friends with the seniors, and speaking of, one of the seniors on that team is actually at Piedmont now. But I think going into playoffs and going up to Ringgold and losing that last game and seeing all the effects it had on the seniors and it showed me how much the game can actually mean to somebody. And I was like, at the time, I was like, well, I still got plenty of time. But I looked and I realized, like, that was it for them. And I think the whole thing about that is just going back to the hotel and just being on a team that family actually means something. Like, we were all just a team and all that, having to go and losing in the playoffs, which was heartbreaking. But then just being around each other in the hotel and just having a good time.
Man, that's a really valuable lesson, Justin. You were a freshman?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a great takeaway. That certainly was a hard moment, but boy, I got to tell you, now that you're entering your senior year, those 4 years go by really fast, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Isn't it remarkable? So let me ask you a little bit about your academics now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, what a GPA, 3.9 something.
Thank you.
I think you were being a little humble with that, and that's impressive. And you're going to an impressive institution next year as well. So how have you been able to balance your academics and your baseball, and really have been so successful at both? How do you do that?
I think it's more what I've learned is a lot of time management. Luckily, I have a dad that pushes academics over baseball first. He made sure I had all my assignments turned in going up to high school, and now it's taught me just to get my stuff done so that I can be able to play baseball. He was always hard on me. Make sure I get good grades, make sure I don't have any missing assignments, because then if I have missing assignments, then, well, I can't really play baseball, So I think just having a good time management and getting your stuff done in the classroom when you can and not trying to put it off, that'll lead to more success on the baseball field, because you'll end up having more time to practice and all that because all your stuff and assignments are done.
Absolutely. And that's going to be a strategy you'll be able to take to the next level, because I got to tell you, just being a college student is a full-time job in and of itself. And now you're going to add a sport like baseball to it. You're essentially working 2 full-time jobs. So time management is going to be at a premium. And I got to say, hey, man, what a great dad. I love the way you described it. Hey, he was hard on me, but buddy, he knew what was right for you. And
100%.
No question about it, man. And it sounds like a job well done. And it sounds like you did exactly what you were supposed to do. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Hey, have you thought about what you're going to major in?
Yes, sir. I'm majoring in exercise and sports science.
Fantastic, man. I love that. Absolutely. So I got to tell you, exercise science, I would assume you're pretty strong in biology.
I would think so. I don't. It wasn't my strongest class, but I think I've over the years I've grown to love it more and more.
Okay, well, I hope you will. I hope you do love it. Exercise science, kinesiology. You're going to be taking a lot of biology.
Definitely, I'm excited for it.
Good. Hey, let me ask you this too. And I have to believe again, it's kind of like the memorable moments. I know there's probably been a lot of players and coaches along your path that have really had a big influence on you and helped you in your development. If there was any one particular player or one particular coach, who would it be?
Oh, well, off the top of my head for coach, I would definitely say Coach Preston Lowther. He was a coach at West Hall my sophomore and junior year. He came over from North Hall, and this year he's back at North Hall. He came over, and I mean he has like the intimidation. He's got the beard, the nice hair, 6'6", just a big dude. So I think when he came over, he taught us a lot about the mental side of the game and just to not care what happens, but just go out there and just be a dude and then just compete every day, work your tail off every day. Um, and then for players, I don't think there's been a specific one. I think it's every single teammate that I've had that has pushed me to get better and better every day because I've throughout the years I've played with a lot of really really good players, and I think they push me every day when I play them or go hit with them. They teach me a bunch of stuff to every skill of the game. But just I learned so much from every single one of my teammates. I can't really name one specific one.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do want to make sure I have it right with the coach. You said your sophomore and junior year, he was with you at West Hall, and now he's back at North Hall.
Correct. Yes, sir.
What's the distinguish and what's the difference there? Is that two different high schools?
Correct. It's North Hall's close up near Dawson County, I believe, and we're up south of Lake Lanier.
That is so interesting. I mean, so gosh, are they affiliated? The two schools affiliated at all?
No, we're just all in the Hall County. We have an East Hall, West Hall, North Hall, and then South Hall. But they go by Johnson.
Okay, I think I'm getting it. So Lake Lanier, that's
Mm-hmm.
close to Atlanta.
More Gainesville area.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm getting there slowly. I'm from Florida. So
Okay.
I'm trying to grab the geography and understand it.
North Hall's north of Lake Lanier. East Hall's, I would say it's east, and then what us and Johnson are basically right next to each other.
Okay. Fantastic. What's just out of curiosity about what's your senior class size at West Hall?
Ooh, I
Roughly.
ballpark, I'd say no more than 200.
Okay. All right. That's not
Not very
small.
many.
No, that's not small. I mean, I get it. I'm just trying to get an understanding of who you are and what the school looks like.
It may not even be 200 if I'm being honest.
Okay. All right. Well, let me ask you something. We talked about balance in academics with baseball. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
give me a feel, really, in the spring. And you can reflect on your junior year or sophomore year, but just
Mm-hmm.
through the spring season, just kind of give me your typical day going to school and playing games. What does that schedule look like?
Well, I can for right now in the future it'll be so I'm taking early college classes in the morning, and they're from 10 to 12, and then some days I have off. So and I don't go into actual West Hall till about 1. So until I wake up till about 10 or so, I'll go hit in the morning at an indoor facility. I'll do my weights and everything, come home, eat breakfast, shower, and all that. And then I'll head to the early college class. I'll get my schoolwork knocked out, all my classes there. Then I'll come home, eat a quick lunch, and then I'll actually head to West Hall for the day. And then I'll stay there till school ends, and then I'll do baseball practice afterwards.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm starting to get a better feel. So when you say early college, are you dual enrolling?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Fantastic, man. Will this be your first semester, or were you doing that last year as well?
I did. I took 2 classes last year, so 2 semesters, and then I'm taking 2 more classes currently at the moment.
Man, that's big time. I love that. It's very, very smart. Get a head start right there. Make your
Yes,
life a little bit easier once you get to Piedmont.
yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, again, everyone that's been able to join us this evening, thank you so much. We absolutely appreciate it. I mentioned earlier that we record this space so that we can retweet it out later. We also record it because we turn it into a podcast, and that podcast is Now D1 Speaks. And really, our core audience is uncommitted baseball prospects, committed baseball prospects, and college coaches. And it's really just an environment where guys can really be heard, and they can talk about their accomplishments, not only on the field, but really in the classroom, and things that they're doing outside of the field that's helping them to prepare to play at the next level. And this evening we're speaking with Justin Shaffer. He is a very recent commit, signed his letter of intent today to go to Piedmont University, which is an outstanding school, very high academic school, got a great baseball reputation as well. And he's a catcher, he's a middle infielder, and he even has speed. So let me ask you something, Justin. You know, really kind of want to talk about Piedmont University just a little bit, and your experience really with the recruiting process. Maybe kind of give us some insight as to what that looked like, and then ultimately what it was that really drew you to Piedmont, and you just knew it was the right fit.
So for the recruiting process for Piedmont, first I just gotta say, Coach Scally and Coach Craig, they're absolutely amazing. They do such a good job of what they do, and they're the big reason of why I chose Piedmont. But when I started the recruiting process for Piedmont, Coach Scally actually came and talked to my travel team about the recruiting process and all that, and I emailed him afterwards thanking him, and then he sent me an invite to his 2-day camp in September. And then I went up and I did that, got to be in front of their whole staff, got to meet a lot of the guys. And then thankful for me, I did pretty good at the showcase. And then that is actually when I got my offer for Piedmont. And Coach Craig and the Scally again, they are absolutely amazing at the whole process. They never gave me a time limit on my offer. They invited me to all the practices, inter squads, everything you can think of to make it feel like it was a home that I was deciding on, which it ultimately felt like home the whole time. But they were always texting me. They came down to most of my travel games to watch me play. And they truly made me feel like I was very wanted at Piedmont.
Sounds like you were, man. What a great experience all the way. Thank you so much for sharing that. So when he came down to meet with your travel team, and it was Coach Scally, did he just come down to meet in general with the travel team, or was he there specifically to meet you?
So luckily, one of my coaches at the time, he went to church with Coach Scally, and he had talked to him just to come down and talk about the recruiting process, because at the time my current travel coach was really, really big in trying to help us get to the next level. And Coach Scally offered to come down and talk, and he came down. He knew of me because when I was a freshman, like I said, one of my best friends was a senior, and he ended up going to Piedmont. So I had known Coach Scally, and I believe he had seen me play a little bit. So we kind of knew of each other then. But he was just coming down to talk about the recruiting process for Piedmont and give us some tips on how we can get to the next level at that age.
I see. So who was your travel team?
It was Dinger Athletics out of Buford.
Okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. And then I kind of want to ask you a little about the 2-day camp, and specifically like Coach Craig and so forth. Because Coach Craig's got a great reputation, and again, Piedmont's just a big time baseball program,
yes,
big time school. At the camp, I know they probably started talking to you. Obviously, did they offer you at the end of the 2-day camp or during the camp, or was it after that experience?
They offered me at the very end of the camp. So like the second day when we were all said and done, that's when they offered.
I see. Did you accept right there? Did you say, hey, that's fantastic, I need to talk to my parents?
No, I definitely had to think it over. They offered me when I was a junior going into my junior season. So the September leading into our high school season, that's when they offered me. And I thought about it for a while, and part of me, every chance every time it got closer and closer to when I actually committed, it felt more like home every single time.
Absolutely. If you don't mind, when did you commit?
No, not at all. I committed, I believe it was August 6th of this year.
Oh my word! So 11 months after they offered you.
Yes, sir.
Man, that's fantastic. I know that was a stressful 11 months, probably for them and for you, but that's the way to do it, man. You got to make sure it's right. Yeah, I always kind of joke about it because it sounds so cliche,
Hmm.
but this is not a 4-year decision. This is truly a 40-year decision.
Definitely.
Hey, you're a smart young man, Justin. You have done everything right to put yourself in a position to be successful. And I know you know that at some point your baseball career will absolutely just come to an end. I mean, it comes to an end for everyone. It doesn't matter
Yep.
how great you are. And what you need to be doing is what you're doing, putting yourself in a position to go to a great college and go and get a degree that it is that you're really interested in, so that you have a direction in life as to whatever it is you
Right.
want to be able to do. It gives you so many options, and
Yes, sir.
just absolutely impressed with that recruiting story so much. I mean, that just showed a lot of maturity,
Thank you.
Justin. Yeah, that showed just a
Thank you. Thank you.
ton of maturity to be able to sit on an offer essentially for a year, keep great communications, and then in the entire time you were really vetting them out. And it's the right place for you, man.
Yes,
That's just
sir.
big time stuff, man.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations. Absolutely. I got to tell you, Justin, I have really, really enjoyed this evening. I think you have just got just a tremendous future ahead of you. And what an exciting day again. I mean, I just know you were on cloud nine to be able to do something that just very, very few athletes ever get the opportunity to do. And that is to sign an NLI. I mean, that's big time stuff right
Yes,
there.
sir. Definitely. It's definitely a dream come true of mine.
I bet it is. Hey, let's kind of end tonight with a question that I really, really, really love, and
Hmm.
and the question is, man, how can you help some younger athletes? And the age group that I always kind of think about
Hmm.
are really incoming freshmen in high school, and these may be a couple of guys or several guys, whoever it is, really good at baseball, and
Hmm.
they want to be really good at baseball for just as long as they can be. What kind of advice would you give a freshman today that would really kind of help him with his career?
I think the biggest thing I have to say is just fall in love with the game. If you're not fully invested in the game, it'll show and it'll end up weed eating you out when you get to junior and senior year. But I think if you truly just fall in love with the game and trust the process along the way, it'll it'll do more good to you than it will harm. I think another big thing is just invest in the weight room, get in there as much as possible, eat right, have the right diet, and then don't slack at your diet or weight room. Don't take days off much, because I promise you there's people out there that are working just as hard as you that want your spot in the next coming future.
Hey, man, that's some big time advice right there, and I think that's probably a lot of advice that you took yourself and put it into practice. So,
Definitely.
hey, again, I cannot thank you enough for hopping on and really kind of walking through your experience. Again, our core audience is really uncommitted prospects, and there's a lot of guys out there that are good at baseball that haven't gotten the offer, or
Hmm.
they haven't received maybe any offers. Who knows? And there's parents that are out there, and they're all stressed. And I got to tell you, when somebody comes on that's gone through the process and has committed, they want to hear from you. And you are really, truly going to be helping some people out tonight. And I can't thank you enough for that, because people need, a lot of times you just need hope. You just kind of need
Hmm.
that encouragement. You need to be able
Yep.
to look across and see someone else has been able to do it. You even referenced a couple of times, hey, you had a great friend that went to Piedmont that
Yep.
was a couple of years ahead of you. And
Yes,
that,
sir.
yeah, it kind of keeps that this can really be done. Let me keep working, and there will be opportunities. So Justin, thank you, man. Thank you for
Th-
coming on and sharing your story.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. And again, congratulations, man. And I hope nothing but the best for you and all the success that you've worked for. So, and
Thank you,
with
sir.
absolutely. And again, everyone that was able to dial in this evening, thank you for the support. And anyone that's listening to the podcast, thank you so much. I certainly appreciate that as well. And with that, we're going to say good night. Hey, let me ask you something. Are you ready to dominate at the plate this season? Blast Baseball is the #1 hitting improvement solution, trusted by more major league, college, and travel ball teams than any other. The Blast sensor attaches to the knob of any bat, providing real-time feedback with every swing. Metrics are automatically sent to a smartphone app, generating insights that allow you to analyze and improve your hitting like never before. Go to blastmotion.com and enter code NOWD1 and you will save $25 at checkout. Unlock your potential with Blast.